Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 10th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Start going out. All right, I'll start marking up liquidity real quick. Be back in 1 second, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. All right. Looks good. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 10th. It is 6:28 right now. Market's in the open in about 2 minutes. I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity is above right here at 40,947. It's about to get hit pre-market. And the lower level right here is at 40,912. So that first level of liquidity right there just got hit. For our 100-point move today, it's going to be a buy. We got market opening up in about 40 seconds. So today I'm going to be trying something a little different and a little new, guys. I've just been getting a bunch of ideas after doing a lot of this testing. One of the ideas that I have is applying the breakout. So if you guys remember, we used to take the breakout on open. What I've noticed is that with these types of markets where, there's not really much volatility that's consistent and the volatility pretty much is just in the beginning, the breakouts are actually the best type of entries to take. So I'll be looking to take some breakouts here on open. It's going to be a really quick entry. I'll let you guys know when I'm taking it. Market is opening up in about 3 seconds and the 100-point move is for a buy. So we got this right here. Go mark this up real quick. So there goes the 100-point move. Leave that as is, and I'll come back over here. So for the breakout that I was mentioning earlier, on the other breakout, there's another breakout that I'm going to be testing. Basically, I'm looking for a reversal or continuation. For the most part, it's reversal. So I'm looking for price to get to a low and then reverse to the upside, or I'm looking for price to hit a high and reverse back to the downside. So for this right here, price is dumping pretty heavy, and I'll be looking for this to possibly swing back up, some sort of confirmation that price is going to go back up higher. So we're getting a huge spike right here to the downside. And I'll be looking for this here to swing back up. Liquidity right there just got hit. Price here is still dropping a bit further. Pretty much hit the London high right here. I was looking for that sessions entry, but there was just no sessions entry here. You guys can see how I had it set up right here, but did not meet the criteria. So we'll still be looking for our normal market flow entries, but on top of that, I'll be looking for these other types of prices just dumping super heavy right now. Now this thing's dumping pretty heavy. So let's see where this is going. So for that breakout that I was mentioning, it's probably going to be a buy here. I'm going to look for this to swing back up. The good thing about these strategies is that what I've started to realize is that I can use a positive risk reward for these types of entries, because the breakouts typically have enough volatility to push in the other direction. So say, for example, right here, if I get a strong green candle, then this will be my breakout entry for a buy. It's got to be a strong green candle, though. It can't be like some weak green candle. It's got to be a strong green candle back to the upside for me to take this right here for the breakout that I just mentioned. So it's not looking like it's going to happen right here. Again, all my trades are going to be risking 500 bucks, so it's not very high of a risk. I'm going to be looking for this candle here to close as a strong green candle. If that happens, I'll be taking this as the breakout back to the upside. I'll try to explain it a little more later, but that's kind of what I'm looking for here, a strong green candle. It's not looking like it's going to happen on this one. Possibly on this next one here. Again, if this candle is a strong green candle, it'll be possible opportunity for that breakout back to the upside. And it typically happens right away. So it happens within like the first, we'll say 10 to 15 minutes or so. So again, I'm looking for this to close as a strong green candle. If it does, then this will be the breakout to the upside that I mentioned. It's not really looking like it's closing strong here. Possibly. All right. Oh, fuck. Got a little too early on that one there. I'll watch this next one here. So I'm just testing this on like one of the tester accounts. Looking for this on the next one here on the next candle. That one I got a little too early. I was waiting for it to close. I did realize the timer wasn't at 0 yet. this here might be the actual opportunity. So it's a 25 to 50 or a 50 to 25 TP stop loss, which is nice because you can make up for it. And then my trailing stop trails at 25. So possibly another opportunity or an actual opportunity right here. This candle's closing in about 10 seconds. Two. No, it wasn't there yet. So what I'm looking for right here is I'm looking for this here to swing back up. I'm looking for a confirmation here. The thing with this strategy is that it's a 2-to-1, so that I'm able to take a little more risk on the account. So you guys can see how it's 2-to-1. And then what I have here is I also have it set up as, and these aren't I'm not taking these as the market flow entries, guys. These are just the breakout that I'm testing here. What I'm trying to catch here is I'm trying to catch the reversal back to the upside. So I'm looking for a strong green candle. These candles right here aren't very strong because of the wicks on top. You basically want a candle that has like little to no wick on top. If you guys remember the original breakout that we would apply, we would look for price or for basically the candle to be following in that direction. So we'd be looking for, and I'm taking a small contract size just to test this out, like a 1 contract. So I'm only risking like, let's see, 125, just to test it out to make sure. So right here, as price starts to push up, this might be the actual. This is the reason why we didn't really like the breakouts initially, because they're so hard to identify if they're going to close strong or not. Because you can see these over here looked like they were going to close strong, and then at the last second, they ended up pulling back a little bit. But what I noticed is because the volatility here on open is very is very high and consistent, this is like probably the best types of entry to take during a slow market that keeps going back and forth like this. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for some market flow entries, and then on top of that, we'll be looking for the session entry that I was mentioning before. So there goes price start to climb back up higher. I think the stop loss might be a little too tight though. It might have to be a 50-50. Because for something like this, you can see that if there was a 50-50 used, it would have survived pretty much any of that pullback drawdown that was happening over here. Let's see what's that. Nice. So Jonathan actually took one and he got a full TP. Nice work, guys. All right, let's see what we got over here. So I'm going to try to, I'm testing a lot of things, but I'm also trying to, I'm trying to stick to the main thing, which is the market flow entries. So the market flow entries are still going to be the main thing, but I'm going to be testing these other breakout strategies alongside because obviously we have to adapt with the market if the market's going to stay inconsistent. If you guys have been trading with me throughout the summer, it's been pretty much a slow market. So there hasn't really been too much of any consistent direction. So you can see over here, price again is kind of going sideways. We had liquidity over here kind of push through. If you guys took any of the liquidity right here, this came through. Nice full TPs on pretty much all of these right here. So let's see, we had the first liquidity right there, full TP. Second liquidity right there, full TP. Third liquidity, full TP. Fourth, full TP. Fifth, full TP. And price hasn't gone into this lower level yet. So let me just go ahead and clean this up a little bit. The 100-point move did not hit today. It was a huge spike to the downside right here. And a correction back up now as we speak. So of course, guys, like I said earlier, the main thing is still going to be market flow entries. It's just I'm trying to find out other things that we can add on top of that for like a secondary strategy. mainly a breakout. I'm trying to figure out a breakout that's going to work, but I need to figure out the TP stop loss. So that's something that I got to test as well. Let's see, there's no entries here yet for the session. So a sessions is another one that I'm looking for here. So possibly a sessions entry, sessions reversal. Chart. We currently have a buy signal right here. So in order for us to get a market flow entry, I need price to push up, retrace, come back up from there. And one thing that I'm going to change just slightly is, so for the market flow entries, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a 15 to 30. So 30 TP, 15 stop loss. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm changing my trailing stop to 15. So once this hits the 15 point right here for a 1-to-1, my position will move my stop loss and profit to that 15, but I can still reach for the 30. Most of the time it's going to hit the 15, but I'm pretty much setting up like this just in case it continues to, spike up further, because you guys have seen that before where we have a market flow entry and then it actually spikes past the TP and goes further, right? So I'm just making some small adjustments to kind of like cater to like the market that we're currently trading in, and to cover more profits like whenever I get break even, because we've been having a lot of break even days and some break even weeks, and I'm getting eaten up by these commissions and fees. So like what I'm doing here now is I'm just making some adjustments to pretty much lock in extra profit in whenever I can, so that I can basically, cover those fees, because those fees are a lot. Well, the fee just adds up, and it's like super annoying how I end up at break even, but I'm still negative because of my commissions and fees and whatnot. So this is pretty much what I'm setting up right here. If I get a market flow entry, I'm going to look for that market flow. So I'm looking for price to swing back above, retrace, and continue up higher for that market flow entry. There's no sessions entry here. In order for me to get a sessions entry, I need price to come above the Asia high and then come back down. Or actually, the Asia high was already used, so I'm going to look for price to come above the London high right here. So I'm going to look for price to come above the London high right here and then correct back down from that point. And let me get the opening price over here. Thanks, iPhone, or Joe, I think that's you. Or John, actually. So opening price is right here. Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, that's the target price point if price does push up higher. We got liquidity sitting up here as well. So there's no official entries that have come up yet. I mean, unless you guys took the liquidity pushes. That's another thing that I think will be valuable during like these types of market conditions. So what I would recommend, if you guys want to take the liquidity pushes, that's one thing that I'm going to kind of dabble in as well. For the liquidity pushes, I think if you pick one or two liquidity lines that you think price will break through, I mean, you'll be pretty good, right? You'll be pretty solid. So if that's something that you guys want to do, that's something that I'm going to look into as well, because liquidity has been hitting pretty much all summer. I haven't taken one liquidity trade, and all summer liquidity has been hitting. If you can take it for a 1-to-1 or even a 2-to-1, I think it's going to be super, super useful. Or not a 2-to-1, a 1-to-2. So 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 for liquidity. Because you guys saw the liquidity from this morning. There was like 6 levels of liquidity that got hit. Some of them got hit pre-market, but the ones that actually got hit during market, I mean, they pretty much blasted right through, right? So that's going to be one more thing that I'm going to be looking into. I'm going to try to get on a little earlier and mark up liquidity for you guys. And I'm going to try to pick out maybe one or two liquidity pushes that are close to, price that can possibly be useful because it tends to hit almost every time. And we're basically missing out on like free wins right there. I mean, during like summer of last year and the year before that, liquidity pushes were like one of the main strategies we applied. The only problem with liquidity pushes back then is that we couldn't really set pending orders the way that we wanted to. So now that we have NinjaTrader, it's actually going to be super useful to use when sending pending orders like this. And then again, this is the type of market that I was just talking about. This is why I'm looking into different types of breakouts and, like I said, those liquidity pushes in the beginning, because the market tends to just go flat like this. And now that the market's flat like this, there's just no entries for us. And even if we do get an entry, say, for example, we get a market flow entry, it's not going to be a good one because it's probably going to keep going sideways, right? And our stop loss is so tight that it's just not going to be a good setup when it comes down to it. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm kind of looking into most like breakouts for the most part, because you guys can see there's opportunities for entry right here on breakout. And then now that the market's going sideways, there's just nothing here for us to take. All right, looks like we might get some sells over here for market flow. No. So there's a pending sell signal there and then it disappeared. But obviously, as you guys can see here, it is pretty much not going anywhere. So let me check the chat real quick. Let's see. Morning, David. Stanley said, "Hey, Sean, I'm going to be starting up again. Haven't traded since the whole MetaTrader thing stopped working. I'm going to be signing up with Apex." Yes, Stanley. So Stanley said, "But can you touch a little bit when you can on what's the difference between TradeAvate and Rhythmic?" So TradeAvate and Rhythmic they're two different trading platforms, but TradeAvate is going to be your better option. Rhythmic or actually, I mean, they're both fine. I mean, it depends on like what you want to use. For me, I learned how to use TradeAvate, so I like TradeAvate. The thing with TradeAvate is that you can log into NinjaTrader, which is like the bigger platform where you can like have all these tools and the copiers and stuff like that. It costs a little more, but I think it's worth it because then when you trade on TradeAvate, you can trade directly on TradingView. Like you can trade on here if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to just directly trade on TradingView and you wanted to click sell here and take your sell order, you can do that. So that's the big plus with TradeAvate. With Rhythmic, there's a lot of issues. There's connection issues. There's been a lot of connectivity issues like for the past couple months. So I don't really recommend Rhythmic. The only thing with Rhythmic that I think is beneficial is that they have another special copier that works with other funding companies. So that's the only thing I can say. But the thing is, Apex lets you get 20 accounts, so I would just go with Apex. So you don't have to be on like 20 different prop firms and just adding them to your copier. You're better off just going to Apex, getting 20 accounts, and then adding them to your NinjaTrader copier. So there's nothing really much different between TradeAvate and Rhythmic. It's just TradeAvate gives you more options. So TradeAvate, you can trade on TradingView, you can trade on NinjaTrader, you can trade directly on TradeAvate. It's just really up to you. If you're trading on a Mac, you'd have to go with TradeAvate. There's no Rhythmic only works on PC, so that's another thing too. I mean, for the most part, I would just go TradeAvate. I would never recommend Rhythmic for anybody. I used to have one Rhythmic account, and it would always disconnect, so I don't really recommend it very much. All right, guys, we have a sell signal right here. If price swings up, bounces off the pivot, this is going to be a market flow entry. I'm technically only going for 15.15, but I have a TP set out further at 30, guys. So like it's right here at 15.15 because when price comes down to the 15.15, my stop loss is going to be moved in profit. And then if this ends up pushing to 30, then I just get double profit. So just wanted to show you guys there, so there's no confusion. That's This is where I'm setting my TP stop loss, but I do have a trailing stop just in case. Okay, so price is currently at the low right here. If this ends up being the case and price swings up from here, so what I'm looking for here now is I'm looking for my sessions entry that I was talking about yesterday. So what I need to happen here is I need price to actually come below. Let's see if I can. All right, so I need price to come below the Asia low right here. Once it does, I'm gonna put a pending order right here for a buy. And then when it comes up, I'm gonna have it swing back up and pretty much trigger my order. So I want this to come lower. I want it to come lower and then I want it to fake out. So I want this to come down a little lower, fake out, come back up, and then I'm gonna ride this all the way back up. Let's see, it's at 788. I need to come below even just a little bit lower from where it's currently at. So I gotta watch it because I gotta set my order there, 788. All right. So I'll try to kind of look back at here to make sure that it's going to come through. Let's see if there's a possible market flow here setting up. There is a market flow here that's currently running, guys. I missed it. I was trying to set up the TP stop loss there, but it already came back down. So there's a market flow that's currently running right here, right now. If you guys are taking it the way that I mentioned, so 15.15 is going to be the trailing stop. Full TP is going to be here for the 30. So if you guys took it full TP right there for the 15.15, it'll probably continue pushing to the 30. If it swings up, it's going to stop you out in profit. If it ends up coming down further, it's going to keep dropping from here. I was trying to take this here, but I just didn't have enough time. So the 15.15 got hit. If you guys took this for one, or if you guys took it as a normal entry, the 15.15 there did get hit. Yeah, it would have gotten stopped out in profit right there. There may be another opportunity for entry here. It ends up coming back down. Because technically the other one didn't come down to I'm gonna leave it as is. Personally, I'd rather take a buy here. So this one never came back down, but if you took the first one right here, it pretty much hit TP for 15.15. If you went for the 30.30, your stop loss still would have gone hit in profit at 15.15. There's another opportunity right here for a market flow. If it comes down lower, which it didn't. There's another market flow again right here. That's currently running. So if you're doing for the 15.15, it'd be right there. If you went for the 30, be right there. So it's currently running right now in profit. I'm not in this position. Like I said, I'm only taking one per momentum. This one already came up, so I'm not going to take another one here for a sell. First one came up right here. I missed it, unfortunately, but it's pretty much the same setup that we were just discussing. Market is just going sideways per usual. Okay, so the entry is still running right there. So the 15 got hit. Looks like if you got your stop loss in profit, it would have pulled you out already in profit. So if you guys took that right there, that would have been a full TP again. But again, I'm only taking one per momentum. So the one that came up already was over here. So the first one that came up right here was already the full TP. This was just the second one that came up. Again, if you wanted to do what I mentioned earlier, you can pretty much set it up this way, have your TP stop loss set at 15, and then you can write it to the 30 if you want to. It's just something I've been playing with because back then we didn't have the trailing stop feature. Now that we've been using the trailing stop, it actually makes a lot of sense to just move your stop loss and profit to 15 once you get to that point, and then possibly reach for the 30. Let's see, Henry said, I see price mitigating 5-10 order block on the 5-minute again before returning to opening price. Nice. Yeah, that's what I was expecting too. So that's what I'm looking for over here as well, Henry. I'm looking for price to break below the low right here, and I want it to come back up. So that's what I'm looking for personally. The volatility here again is like very low. So if you guys took any of the market flow entries, there was 2 market flow entries that came up right here. First one came up right there. If you were doing the 15, well, everyone's doing the 15-15. That one hit full TP, and then same with this one right here, full TP on this one. So you guys can see the market flow entries still work very well. That's why it's still going to be the main thing. I'm just looking at these breakouts here and reversals and sessions and whatever I'm looking at here. These are like extra. So I'm going to keep testing them, and if they work very well, then obviously I'll implement them into, an official strategy. But for the most part, they're still in their testing phase. The main thing that you want to focus on if you're looking for official entries would be the market flow entries. That's all that we have that's like really official. That's what we tested, and that's what we've been using. That's what's been working. The only thing here is that I'm trying to find other solutions for this market that we're currently in. All right, so we got price coming below here. Again, I need price to come down pretty low. I need to come below. And I'll be looking for this here to basically write it back up. All right, so I need to come down further from where it's currently at. I need to actually break below, come down a little further, and I'll be placing my buy stop limit right here. Let me change my parameters. All right, perfect. So I'm waiting for it to close. And then I'm gonna put my buy stop limit there. I'll put it there right now.
Order submitted.
So I got my buy stop limit right there at 788. So I'll be waiting for it to swing back up. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for the fake out. I'm in the position now. So I'm looking for the fake out, and I'm looking for it to swing back up right here and climb back up.
Order submitted.
I have my trailing stop over here at the 100 mark. So when price reaches this point right here, this is going to be my trailing. Let's color this black. Label it. Okay, so now I just let the trade breathe. Let it do what it needs to do. The full TP is going to be the 200, but my trailing stop is at the 100 right here. So basically, if price pushes up to this 100-point move, if it pushes past it, then my stop loss is going to move in profit. It's hard for me to draw it. Let me see if I can. It's just too big. Okay, so if it gets to that point, so if it gets to the 100-point move there, my stop loss is going to get moved in profit to this 100-point move. So basically, I'm going to guarantee 100, or if it climbs up any higher, I'll be aiming for the 200 up here. Right, and I just let it be. This trade typically will hit within like by 8 o'clock. If it doesn't hit by 8 o'clock, I'll be moving the stop loss in profit or my TP a little bit closer, just to pretty much protect the position. So if you guys are in this position right here, or if you want to take this position, the entry was at 40,788. The full TP for 200 points is at 40,988. The stop loss level is at 40,688, 100 points. And then the trailing stop is set to 100 points, which is at 40,888. This is more of a day trade. It's going to take a while for it to hit. It's not going to hit right away. Obviously, it's a crazy target. Well, not a crazy target, but it's a pretty far target. It's 200 points. And the stop loss is pretty far below at 100 points. So if you guys want to take that, feel free. I'm in the position right there. Now that I'm in this position, I'm kind of stuck with it. I can't really do anything else because I can't stack positions on my NinjaTrader. So I kind of just got to wait for this here to play through. I can't take any market flow entries because, yeah, I mean, it's kind of just, I can't stack any positions because if you stack any more positions, it's going to be considered like a DCA move. And it's going to, you just can't stack positions with Apex. If you guys understand like that issue with Apex, it's a widespread issue that happens very often. And it leads people to getting denied payouts. So not going to mess with it. So leave that as is right there. And we'll keep looking for any other entries here. All right, so price is dropping down a little further. There's still no buy signal here yet. It's just gonna be a matter of time until it ends up coming around. So let's see. There's some pretty good direction today. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of direction today. I think there's going to be a lot of manipulation to the downside because we have the CPI news tomorrow. So you guys are familiar with this. I mentioned this yesterday. There's CPI news tomorrow on Wednesday. So I think price will probably just range back and forth. The inflation news over here is forecasted to be, let's see, positive for the first one, neutral, negative, neutral, positive. So for CPI, just in general, it's forecasted to be positive, and then everything else is pretty much neutral. And then one negative right here for year over year, which makes sense because this year wasn't really a better year than last year. It got worse. So we do have CPI news tomorrow. This is going to be a problem with the entry that we're currently in because this thing just might go sideways for a long time before it actually moves. But I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'm only testing these strategies. I'm testing the session to session strategy. Basically, the way that the strategy works is I was looking for price to come below over here and then push back to the high. So basically, session to session, price comes below, fakes out, comes back above the session, and then pushes to the next session over here. My trailing stop is in between that point, and then obviously the bigger TP is going to be past it to, like, say, the London high up here. But this strategy is supposed to take a while. It's not going to hit right away. Eventually, we're going to get some volatility. Hopefully, the volatility does reverse and climbs back up higher. I don't think there's any news today. There's no catalyst to really push price, so it's going to be basically a slow move. It's not going to be anything that's going to spike because there's just not enough volatility in the market to spike price. So the ATR is currently at 26.8. So it's not necessarily super slow, but it's not necessarily fast either. So this thing might have to run for a while. So like it might not even hit by 8 o'clock. Usually it would because the volatility is a lot higher, but the ATR right now is kind of low. So this is probably going to sit around for a bit, maybe down here. and then eventually it'll reverse and come right back up. But it's going to take some time. Let's see. Jason said, trying to see what I said about yesterday. Let's see the analysis over here. So I'll go over here to the clean chart real quick. Turn this off. So let me just mark up. And this is just a side convo with me and like Jason. Jason sent me something yesterday that was pretty cool. Kind of went similar to the session strategy that I'm doing right now, but tends to happen typically on breakout. All right, so let's take a look, Jason. So let me look at the notes that I took from yesterday. So we had the Asia range right here, or consolidation, let's see. Or this could be considered expansion. So there's a lot of different things. So this right here could be considered expansion, consolidation, and continuation. Continuation here actually didn't play through, but let me see what you said over here. You said Asia up. So Asia actually went down over here. Jason, it didn't go up, it went down. So like this is the Asia session right here. So this would be considered expansion to the downside. This right here would be London consolidation. And then, I mean, it should have pushed up from here, from open, of course. Let's see. But from the open, actually, so 630 right here. This thing is still dropping pretty heavily.
Order filled.
It gets stopped out. Damn, this market is like. So here's the thing. It looks like it's actually moving directional now. So with this trade right here, guys, I took one contract. I didn't really risk that much on this one. I was only testing it. All the strategies that I'm testing here, I'm only taking one contract. So for this one contract, the only strategy that I'm taking full contract size is the market flow entries over here. There's no market flow entries because there's no buy signal which has come up. But for the most part, so I'm looking back at that analysis, Jason. I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. Because you said Asia up, London up, New York open down, then back up. Because I'm looking over here from Asia. Asia was actually going down. It wasn't going up. And then for London session over here, it was, this could be considered either manipulation or, okay, so if now that I'm looking at this from like the setup that you showed me, it does line up. It lines up with the Asia range. If this is considered a range, this is considered manipulation. And then obviously New York reversal price came up and then reversed back down. But there's no because from yours over here, yeah. So I'm looking at the charts that you sent me. This does fit that criteria. This is the Asia range, or it could be the Asia range. This would be considered London manipulation, and then this would be the New York reversal to the downside. Yeah, I'm just confused because you said Asia up, London up, New York open down, then back up. When it was like, this is going down, and this is going sideways, and then this is the reversal. So the chart did line up. It's just what you said didn't line up with what I saw. But yeah, if you're following the first one, that's pretty much what it's set up as. The only problem with that the thing that you sent me, Jason, is that it's meant for the forex market. It's not really meant for this market because this market is open during that time, but it's a little different because there's not other factors that are kind of pushing price around. I mean, it still works. The patterns still work perfectly fine, like you mentioned, but I'll have to test a little more to actually see how it plays through. But going back to our official entries, guys, there's still no entries here. I'm looking for, well, liquidity here got hit. I wouldn't take any liquidity here. So what I would probably look for if you guys are looking to take liquidity is look for liquidity on open. So basically look for the liquidity points that are like close to current price, like on open, and then just pick one or two there that you think will hit. And then I would just put pending orders at those points. Right. I'd put pending orders at those points, and then when they hit, then they hit, obviously. But all right, so again, I'm going to keep testing these strategies, guys, but the official entries that we're looking to take here are going to be the market flow, because the market flow is something that's been tested. We've been using it for a while now. It's been hitting. The everything else, I'm kind of just testing on my own. So the breakout on open, the breakout reversal, the sessions move, all that stuff is going to be something that I'm just testing on my own. If you guys want to take them, feel free, but the only way to really test them is during real market conditions, especially for the breakouts, because the breakouts, you can't really, I mean, you can back test it, but you're not able to act under live market conditions. So yeah, it's always going to be slightly different when you're doing back testing versus front testing or forward testing. All right, so here we are back to the sideways market. So I mean, it looks good for the most part. For the most part, it looks like it's moving directional, but the volatility just isn't very consistent. So let me go here real quick. I'll see if I can mark up some levels here. Here, this is what I'll do. I'll go to the SR chart and I'll mark up the zones over here. I don't think there's going to be any zones down here, of course, or possibly there will be. There's a zone right here. Let's extend to the right. So we know where it starts from. So I'll look for a market flow entry if it comes up, but it's not looking like it's going to come up anytime soon. All right, so price is currently at the 10-minute support right there. See where price is currently at. Let's see if price bounces off this point. Let's go down to the 5-minute. Go back down to the 1-minute. Zones are kind of messy. And I can't wait for the summer market to be over with. We keep saying it, but I really can't wait for the summer market to be over. So that's been a headache for everybody. All right, so we got price kind of down here at the 10-minute support. See if it bounces off, comes back up. There's no buy signal here yet. Yeah, this has kind of been the theme of like our summer market. It's either going to move directional and it's never going to retrace. The problem here is that we need a retracement. So I need to get a buy signal to swing up and then come back down for me to take some sells, or I need a buy signal to come up and reverse back to the upside. for me to take some entries there for market flow. The problem with this here is that we're just not really getting much of that. So there's two things that typically happen here during the summer market, and what we've seen throughout the summer is price will either go sideways for a very long time and provide no entries, or what happens is we get a slow snail drop. So you'll get this where price just drops, like it drops in direction, but it's so slow that you never get a retracement to open up for opportunity here. So we're getting direction here, and we have some volatility. There's just no entries here for us to take necessarily, unless you want to take something like a high-low scalp. So, we have different strategies that are meant for this, but the thing is, this doesn't happen often enough where we're able to take any high-low scalps. Typically, we could take high-low scalps in these entries. So like if I go over here, you can see how price broke below the structure. Right here, this would be considered a high-low scalp if you wanted to take it. It was right at the session, so obviously not one that I'd personally take. This one actually would have been okay. So price broke below this lower low. And this here would have been, a high-low scalp for a sell right there. Again, right here, another one, price broke below it, retraced up a little bit and came back down. There's entries here. They're just not type that I would necessarily look for. I'm still looking for a market flow entry. So I'm looking for a market flow entry basically to recoup all those smaller losses I took on the breakout and the sessions move. I'm only down a couple $100, but yeah, I just need one market flow entry. If I could get one market flow entry, it'll cover pretty much all those smaller losses that I took today from testing the other strategies. But I gotta wait for that entry. It's not really coming up. 7:16 right now. We still got a lot of time, so we're not done yet, but something's telling me the market's gonna go sideways pretty soon. All right, we got price coming down to this next lower level of liquidity right here. So lower level of liquidity and the sessions down below. Nice, Kenny. Yeah, so Kenny said last month was good for him. 15 wins, 2 losses. I'm liking how the market is moving right now. Yeah, the market is moving pretty directional right now. I wish it was like this every day. So if the market was like this every day, I would take the high-low scalps. But this happens like maybe once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. What strategies were you doing, Kenny? Were you doing directional strategies? Were you doing consolidating strategies? Just curious to see like what everybody else is doing. I've been sticking to my directional moves, but there just hasn't been too much direction, so I haven't been able to take anything. Last week was good for us. I think last week we were up like 2 net wins or 3 net wins. For the month so far, we're like pretty much slightly in. We're in profit, but it's not. Actually, this is barely the second week of September. I was thinking back to November to August. August was more of a break-even month for us. I was sticking to my directional entries, but there just wasn't very much direction for us in August. So I'm kind of curious what you were taking. I'm assuming you were taking like some ranging strategies or some, I guess it's non-directional entries. All right. Nothing here yet, guys. Price is still kind of pushing down. Again, if you guys want to take the next sessions entry, so that's the reason why the sessions entry over here, it's a 1 to 2. It's a 1 to 2 because you could lose one entry here, but if another one comes up like this one down here at the New York low, it'll pretty much recoup the loss. So you have one loss here, right, that we took. If you take this next one right here, and this one wins, then you pretty much recoup this loss, and then you also have a win, so you're in profit. So these strategies are they're pretty good if you're able to have the patience to wait for them. Because this will happen a lot of times. You'll have price where it kind of comes down, comes up, comes back down, fakes out, and then it comes down to the next level, and it does the same thing here, but it actually pushes through to TP. So That's why I'm gonna keep testing it because it works from what I've tested over time. All right, we finally got a buy signal here, guys. So we got a buy signal here. It's pending. If it closes, we'll look for this here to swing back up. If it swings back up, I'll look for a possible market flow. I mean, I don't know if we'll get it. You can see the volatility here is starting to die down and it's getting a little flat. Let's see, Kenny said mostly directional. I have one ranging strategy that works well and two directional strats. Kenny said most of my entries have been coming up between 8 and 9 a.m. That's when the market would start to move. Yeah, I agree with you, Kenny, 100%. I'm still to my normal schedule, like 6:30 to 8. So, that's why I haven't been getting many entries because volatility doesn't really pick up until later. So, and Kenny trades between 7 and 9 a.m. Nice. Yeah, no, that's good. We've noticed that too. A lot of people have mentioned that to me that, the market starts to pick up after 8 o'clock. The only thing with me is that I don't want to change my trading plan, at least not yet, because we are going into the fall season. So I just don't want to change my trading plan yet, until I believe like it's like, absolutely necessary. I don't think it's necessary yet, but I think, it may come to that point. All right, so here goes the dead market. Market is now moving sideways. It's back to what it normally is. We had this directional push over here. I just wasn't able to catch anything here. There was a market flow entry that came up over here that I missed. Unfortunately, that would have been that would have been the entry for the day. So if I took that market flow entry right there, that would have been basically my one and done type entry. Um, the thing is, I guess I could kind of blame myself because I'm doing a little too much right now. I might have to drop one of these strategies that I'm testing. So, because I'm just doing a little too much right now. I'm doing this. I was looking for the breakout on open. I was looking for the 100-point move. I was looking for the sessions, and I just get kind of distracted. That's why I need to stick to like two strategies. This is what I told you guys in the past. There's a lot of strategies you can apply, and they all work pretty well, but you really need to focus on like one or two. Obviously, the market flow is going to be one of my top strategies. I'm not going to change that. I'm just trying to add one more other strategy to complement that. I think the strategy that I might use will be the liquidity though, because the liquidity seems like the best one. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm just gonna replay the liquidity from today. I'm just kind of curious to see which ones would I have taken. Yeah, this is our clean chart. So let's go back to 6:30 real quick. There's no entries for us right now, so don't worry, guys. You guys are not missing out on anything. I just want to I'll back test the liquidity real quick to see which entries I would have taken. Obviously here on open. So let's go over here real quick. I'm just gonna go from the hour. Let's go from the hour, and I'm just gonna mark the stuff that's kind of close by. So I want to see which liquidity here got triggered. And I'm gonna go back to what I was saying earlier, where like, you can pick like two levels of liquidity and you should be pretty much fine. If you want to make those your two entries for the day, I mean, those can be your two entries, or you can just pick one and basically bank everything on that one liquidity push. But liquidity push is a good strategy as long as you do it properly and you don't overtrade it. I think that's what Jamie used to pass her. She just got funded a new account. All right, let's go back. So here's the 1 minute right here. All right, so, oh, what happened? Oh, it's weird. I swear I was at the 6:30 mark. And for some reason, when I went up to the 1 hour, Yeah, it's weird. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry guys. I can't go back and retest it right now because the market's currently live and it won't let me reset it. But anyways, like what I remembered from earlier this morning was that we had liquidity like down here, right? We had a bunch of liquidity just sitting down here. So there's no entries here right now. Actually, I can just draw it up right here. So I'll just stay on the 1 minute. We pretty much had liquidity sitting down here. It's not super hard to see. So, I mean, basically the way that the liquidity pushes work, there was another liquidity right here that got hit pre-market. I wouldn't have taken this one up here, of course. I would only take the ones that happen after market is open. So if you were to focus on just like maybe this liquidity right here for say 15 points, you'd have your pending order just waiting right there. So if price came down, it would just trigger it and come down. That would be an entry right there. I mean, if you just wanted to take one, I think that would be fair game. You just take one liquidity there, price came down, hit it, would have blasted to your TP. And if you wanted to take the next one right here, you could have taken that one as well. Or if you want to just wait for the next one down here, that one also would have hit. So I think this is going to be one that I'm going to be using tomorrow. I'll be using liquidity and I'll be using obviously my market flow. There's no market flow entries here right now. We have a buy signal that just came up, 726 right now. We have about 30 minutes till 8 o'clock. I'll see if the volatility pushes it back up. If not, I'll be looking for it to swing back down. So right now we have price above here. I'll look for it to swing up, provide opportunity for a buy. If not, I'll look for a sell signal to come up, look for it to retrace and come back down further. So a couple of different things here. We'll see where this ends up going. All right, yeah, I think I'll do that tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll get on a little earlier and I'll try to mark liquidity for you guys. And then I'll just pick out one or two levels of liquidity that I plan on taking if you guys want to take them with me. I think that's a good mix. So maybe like one liquidity push and then one market flow entry. And then that's pretty much good enough. One or two trades for the day. All right, so there's not really much going on here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We had two entries come up over here for market flow. I wasn't able to take it, but I mean, they would have been good entries if we would have been able to get into them. First one was right here. And the second one was right here. The thing that I'm doing a little differently with these market flow entries, guys, is that I'm going for a 15 to 30, but I have my stop loss moved in place at the 15. So if you guys are just joining on Ninja Trader, I have my trailing stop set to 15. So basically, this is what my ATM looks like. It's 15 to 30, 15 stop loss, 30 TP, but I have my trailing stop at 15. So whenever price pushes down to this 15 level, I basically guarantee my profits at that point. So if price drops down to here and retraces up, I'm guaranteed 15 points. If price ends up just spiking through and doesn't retrace up, then I get 30 points. So I basically have an opportunity to make double versus just my regular 15-15. So just a heads up, guys, I'm making a little bit of adjustments there just to help with my risk to reward, but I'm still aiming for the one-to-one. So I'm aiming for a double profit, but if it retraces back, I basically guarantee the one-to-one. Yeah, Kenny said, I remember back when I first started trading, I used to take liquidity and made like 8K on one trade. Yeah, I know the liquidity is crazy. It works really well if you catch the proper level. There's like usually one level of liquidity that will trigger pretty much all the levels, right? It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it works pretty nice. So I think for those liquidity pushes, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be doing a 15-15, but I'll be using a bigger TP. You could probably even do it 3-1, honestly. Like instead of having it at 15-30, you can probably do 15-45 and then have your trailing stop move as it moves along. So like when it reaches 15, your trailing stop moves up. And then when it reaches 30, your trailing stop moves even further. And then when it moves down to 45, because that's typically what happens. Like if you saw the spike from this morning, it would have spiked down to like 3 times your profit. And then on top of that, you would get slippage in your favor. Yeah, because if you got the liquidity was right here at this lower low, if you got in from right there, you technically could have got like pretty far down. This thing could have gave you like even more. But it doesn't always work out like that. So just keep that in mind, guys. It doesn't always work out that way. All right, so I'm still looking for a market flow entry right here, guys. We have a buy signal. I'm looking for price to swing above the pivots, retrace, come back higher. I'm not sure if we're going to get this, but I'll continue looking for it here. One of these entries right here will pretty much recoup all of my losses from today because I took smaller contract sizes with the strategies that I'm testing. All right, some people are asking me some questions over here about Apex. So Apex has their promos going on for one more day, guys. So if you guys are looking to trade with Apex, their 80% off evals is going on for one more day. Again, if you guys use the code, you'll get the 80% off. I don't know if you already got your accounts, Stanley, but I'll put the link over here. Here, I'll see if I can paste this in the YouTube. The message is too long. I'll just post this in there real quick. So use this code and this link. Sorry, the YouTube's like lagging right now. I was trying to post up the link. Why the fuck did they do that? Sorry, guys. Fix this. All right, so we got a sell signal right here, guys. Possible opportunity here for a market flow for a sell, but I need price to come down a little lower from where it's currently at. All right, put the link right there for you guys if you guys want to use it. Be 8% off. All right, so I missed the market flow. Well, I don't think I would have taken this entry right here. So there's a market flow that came up right here, guys, but I don't like the volatility. You guys can see how price is going sideways right here. I mean, it did hit, but this is the type of market that I don't want to be trading in. We've talked about this before. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Let me just take everything off. So there is a market flow entry that just came up right here, but I just don't like this type of market. See how the market's going sideways right here? I feel like whenever the market's going sideways like this is where I always get stopped out because my stop loss is too tight. If you guys took it, I mean, there was a market flow entry that came up right there. Sell signal came up. This candle was like not really moving very much. And then it it ends up coming down slightly. But like basically, so this is our clean chart. Let me just take everything off. So you guys can see right here. I just don't like when the market moves like this because I'm always worried I'm going to get caught in the fake out, which tends to happen very often, of course. I mean, with this sideways market, this is typically what we end up getting caught in. So price here is going sideways. I don't like trading my directional strategies when the market's going sideways like this. I mean, the entry did hit nonetheless, but I just don't like trading in these types of markets where the market's like barely moving and it ends up going sideways because this could have easily, went the other way. Like we had, I mean, obviously the entry came up right here for a sell. And maybe this is just me trading conservatively or trading scared, but this could have easily just faked out and came right back up because this whole range right here is, obviously a little bit of a mess. All right. So not sure if we're going to get any more entries today, guys. I mean, this is a setup that I was looking for, but it just didn't meet my criteria. I think I'm just being overly cautious right now because of the sideways market. I don't really like trading these sideways markets, like I said right here. It's just a little tricky because if you look at the market as a whole, so let me scroll back real quick. So market opened right here at 6:30. And this is just from my experience, I'm just being very cautious right now because we had a pretty directional move right here. Like initially on open, we had this big drop right here that happened right on open. And then here price went sideways for a while. Then we had this big drop right here, and then it just went sideways again. So just not necessarily looking to get caught up in these fake outs. I just don't like trading in these types of markets where we get stuck in the sideways move. There's ways to trade these types of markets, but for me personally, I just don't like trading them at all. One of the main ways to trade these types of markets is looking for like V1 variation patterns, right? So like, for example, right here, there's a V1 variation pattern that came up and then it pushed into the range. So this could have been a buy entry, of course. Other than that, there's not really much going on here. Price is still going sideways. We have another buy signal here that's currently pending, but I don't really mess with these sideways markets. See, Stanley said, "Hey Sean, I just signed up for Tradeovate. Doesn't show me any username or password. It's just blank." Your login is on your Apex. So log into the Apex website and then go to Tradeovate. It has your login right there. If you check your email, they sent you your login information there as well. But it's just one login. So you have one login and it logs into all of your accounts. That's where you would get it. It's like a weird username. It's like it's not something you created. They just give you like a weird username. It has a bunch of like random letters and numbers, but you'll see it on the Apex website. You just log into the Apex website, go to the Tradeovate tab below on the left side, and then you should have your login info right there. They also email it to you, so you can look in either place. All right, guys, we have a buy signal right here. Price is climbing up. So if price climbs up, there may be a possible market flow here for a buy. We are getting close to 8 o'clock. So if we don't get any movement here and price ends up going sideways, then I'm probably gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I just have a small loss for today, just a couple $100 from the breakout entry. It's not really a big deal. It's just a small one. I was hoping I'd get a market flow entry here to recoup it, but it's not really looking like we're gonna get one here anytime soon. But again, if you guys are looking for that entry, it would be here for a buy, of course. See, Kenny said, bro, that rut T-boost is nice. Nice, yeah. Yeah, once I started using it, I just kept using it. It makes me feel better. It's just overall health and stuff like that. I like that it's all natural too. I think what I'm gonna do next, Kenny, I bought it like another year supply, but after the year supply is done, I might just make it myself because it gives you all the ingredients. So you can pretty much just buy the ingredients on Amazon or eBay and just create your own. I think the convenience of having it in a capsule just makes it a lot easier though. And it's not too bad. Like if you get the discounted, I buy like 4 at a time. So I buy like 4 and it's like buy 4, get 4 free. So they come out to around like 20, $30 each, which is not too bad. And it works for me. All right, guys, 740 right now. Price is not getting past the pivots. I'll keep waiting here for another couple of minutes. If it doesn't push up and do anything from this point, then I'll probably just wrap this up a little early for today. And the market here moved pretty crazy on open though. So big spikes over here. I'm hoping we get more of these continuation moves because these continuation moves are what we want, right? We want a directional move like this. This is the type of market that we thrive in. So if that becomes the case, then we might not even have to go back to breakouts. We can just stick to our market flow entries and liquidity. I think those are going to probably be the best 2 entries to take. But the thing with those 2 entries is that you have to be selective, right? You have to be selective in picking 1 or 2 good entries. I mean, you can technically take all liquidity if you really wanted to, but for the most part, I think it'd be better if you just pick 1 or 2 liquidity that you think is likely to hit or that looks really good. And just stick to that one. Put your pending order there, let the order fill, let it go to your TP, and then pretty much either wrap it up for the day or look for the next opportunity for entry, which would be a market flow. So yeah, I think that's going to be my goal for tomorrow. We should just stick to what works. Obviously, what works has been working. It's just the market conditions lately just haven't been what we needed. So yeah, I'll look for some liquidity entries tomorrow. I'll pretty much give you guys a heads up early, like what I'm going to be looking to take, and then we'll look for another market flow to basically complement that. I'll keep testing the sessions, but I don't think I'm going to test them on my actual accounts. I'm just going to let them be, and then I'll mark them up and then we'll follow them, but I'm not going to take them on my actual accounts because the problem with these session entries and the breakout entries is that there's such big moves that when I end up taking the entries, it just ends up engulfing like my entire account because I can't take anything else when we're stuck in those big moves. And I don't want to be taking those on my Apex accounts, of course. So I'll test them. If they work out and they're consistent, then I'll keep using them. But if not, I think I'm just going to stick to our bread and butter, which is market flow entries and liquidity, which is obviously been hitting lately. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here. As you guys can see, there's not really much direction. Price is just going back and forth. If this sell signal here doesn't close, I'm just going to wrap it up early for the day, guys. There's no reason for me to stay on here. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. The volatility is starting to slow down. I think if an entry comes up after this, I'm still not going to take it regardless because the volatility here is very low and you can see price is just going sideways. So, all right, that sell signal did not close. There's another pending sell signal here, but I'm not going to wait for it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to wrap it up for the day. See, Brock here said he added mine too late. 85 lifetime deal expires on the 15th. 7 days on the 16th. I would still try to use it, Barack. Yeah, I would still try because the thing with Apex is that they're always they're always extending this. So I think when it gets to your day on the 16th, it's probably going to they're probably going to extend it again. Like to be honest, like um yeah, they're in competition with everybody. There's so we talked about this before, guys. There's another prop firm. It's called Fast Track Trading. They're if you guys have been following a lot of the everyone has a discount right now. Even Fast Track Trading has a discount. But if you guys have seen a lot of these prop firms, they're doing no more evals. So everybody's kind of competing. So I think Apex is going to keep pushing their promo a little further because they're competing with all these other companies now. If you guys have noticed, you guys will start to notice. If you haven't noticed yet, you're going to start noticing that a lot of these prop firms are they're starting to provide accounts that don't have any evals. It's like a no eval stage, and you just go straight into funded. It costs a little bit more, but you go straight into funded. That's going to be the new thing. So that's basically the new wave with these funding companies. It's like straight to funded. It's not something new. They've had it before. So, when you should trade with FTMO, they had these programs available with other prop firms, but they're starting to be widespread. So a lot of these prop firms are going to start offering that. And I think when they start offering that, Apex is going to just keep the promo running. So, all right, guys, there's no movement here. As you guys can see, price is still going sideways. I'm not really expecting much to happen here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I didn't take any official trades for the day. There were official trades that did come up here and they did hit, but I didn't take them. So obviously they're not going to count. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day. We'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is CPI, so we're going to expect, a pretty big spike at 5:30. Again, if you guys want to YOLO some accounts, I'm not telling you to YOLO the account, but if you want to YOLO the account, I'm expecting CPI to be bullish. So if you guys want to just so if you want to buy a bunch of accounts, you can buy a bunch of accounts and hit buy right at 5:29. And then if this spikes up, it'll probably hit your target and then you'll be good to go. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here tomorrow after CPI. We'll see how the market reacts and we'll see if we can take some entries off that movement. So, all right, guys, if anything, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.